young aspiring broadcasters who are in college working on their local radio station are reaching out for representation.
It's amazing. I mean, like, that's one of those examples of John Kruk and the Phillies broadcasts here in Philadelphia. I mean, like, it's amazing having him in your living room, right? I mean, and everyone...
The best. Class.
He's really incredible. You know, I guess we're talking sort of about your career and then how things have changed. Obviously now with the network, you know, now with all the, you mentioned the streamers and the tech players coming in. But what about from a social media perspective? How do you deal with social media, and what do you recommend to your clients as to what to do?
Look, some guys who've been around a long time, they don't need it, they don't care. Let's be honest, it's not going to change their careers. But for most clients, yeah, have a social media presence, engage, be active, post things, be smart, right? Before you hit send, if you think it's controversial, please don't send it. But I think to have a daily presence on social is really important. And a lot of these clients, Wayne, they want brand deals. They want marketing deals. They want supplemental income. Well, you got to have a presence, because one of the first things the brand, what do? They look at their social. Oh, he's got 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers. Great. We can maybe do a deal with them where he or she will do 3 or 4 posts. You got to have a presence. And it's also good, too, just to express yourself and give your opinion on certain things. It increases your following. You know, we look at engagement. We look at all the data, you know, from these social media followers that these talent have, and just try to advise them and how to increase, I guess, the followers by being more engaged, and respond to people. If a fan asks a question, answer it. Not everyone, but try and be engaging. And when we talk to brands, you know, what do you guys look for? What do you brands look for with talent for a digital campaign, one post, whatever it is? We try and get in the heads of the brands, and we advise clients, hey, look, this is what the brands look for, so this is what you should be doing on social.
So who are some of your clients now that we should keep an eye on that are going to be the next big people that you think are really on their way up?
Well, look, Robbie Hummel, you can make the argument is here, but I think Robbie Hummel is going to be, like, he's already in everyone's living rooms for college basketball. He works for 3 different networks, Wayne. He did the Indiana-Purdue game last night. He's now on CBS. But, you know, Robbie, quick story, ask about these clients. You know, I think it was, 7 years ago, I was home watching Big Ten Network in March, right before the Big Ten tournament, and here's Robbie Hummel in the studio. I'm like, wow, I remember him. He was a star at Purdue. I didn't know he's retired. I didn't know what he was doing. Well, he was playing overseas. You know, he was playing in various countries overseas. And I got his number. I connected with him. I said, hey, man, if you want to do this, I think you'll be really, really good. Like, honestly, Wayne, I was so impressed with him and how his presence, his energy, and he just represents college basketball when you look at Robbie Hummel. So Robbie's like, okay, great, let's stay in touch. And he went back. He went to play in Russia. And we were chatting from Russia numerous times over the winter. And he says to me, I think I'm done. So I think I'm done playing. What do you think the opportunities are for me for college basketball? I said, well, of course, we'll start with the Big Ten Network. You're a Big Ten guy. It makes sense. Let's get in there. And then from there, Robbie, there's going to be opportunities. There are more networks getting involved than ever in college hoops. So we did a deal with ESPN. So he was working for BTN and ESPN. And then a few years back, he left ESPN to go to Fox. And this year, he joined CBS. You'll see him on Saturdays. You'll see him during the tournament. And I think he's someone who is going to be, and he's so young, he's in his 30s, like, you're going to see somebody at his level, stay at that level for many years, 100%. You know, we got some young play-by-play guys who I think are climbing the ladder. So, you know, I'm, as I said it before, we're selective only because we can't afford to take on everybody. We just don't have the time and the ability to manage everyone and give everyone the proper time they deserve. So we're pretty, you know, selective on who we work with, and I think that's important, right, to represent talent. But we got a lot of guys. We got some young agents who are bringing in some young talent, female, males, who are just doing great, and the future looks pretty good.
I mean, when you think about an aspiring broadcaster, and you know, and you obviously want to find the next, but what do you say to them when you say, like, not yet, like you're not ready for us yet, but here are a couple things I think you should work on, or, you know, what do you say to them?
Happens all the time. You know, it's years ago when I first started, somebody was, you know, mid to late 20s maybe, or mid 20s before they were reaching out about an agent. Now, kids in college are reaching out. I'm not talking NIL, I'm talking broadcasting. Young aspiring broadcasters who are in college working on their local radio station, school station, are reaching out for representation. Wow, little early. Go get some more experience, but send me your reel. When you go do that minor league game or that college game, send me the link. Let me give you some feedback. And that's how that's, first of all, I like doing that. I think it's a smart and the right thing to do, to give back and help these young kids. And then you stay in touch with some of them. Some of them develop, right? Who, hey, that person could be really good for us. Let's try and get them. But I give feedback and some advice as to what to do on the air and how to sound, and I'll critique, you know, an inning of a game, a quarter of a game, whatever sport they're calling. But we are getting interest from some of these much more, you know, a younger play-by-play sort of folks, reporters, host types, and they do need more experience. They do sometimes before they come to us, but that's okay. That's okay. Love to connect with them and see what's out there, and love to give feedback.
You know, you think about what's happened, you know, in the sports business world, this, you know, the media side of things, right? I mean, has there been something that has really surprised you over the last couple of years that you're just like, you didn't expect something to happen, but now it's like, what's happening out there today?
Well, the sports books, right? The sports books a few years ago, I mean, wow. Once they got legalized, I mean, it was everywhere. And I guess initially I didn't think, okay, the sports books, that's great. You want to bet on FanDuel or with DraftKings. I didn't know the extent that these sports books would want content. I just, they're going to have their own networks, their own fast channels, their own, of course, YouTube channels. I didn't think when it first launched, I just thought about guys betting. I didn't know that they would want their own content and hire talent and all that. So that, I was educated at the beginning. I didn't know. And then the podcasting, when it first started, it was all the craze. Then it died down a little bit. Now it's as hot as ever. Like, podcasting is as hot as ever. And let's be frank, not everybody makes money from a podcast. Okay, it's some of them just use it as a brand extension. Some use it because they like the experience. But there are so many good podcasts out there, and the brands really want to attach themselves to it. It's real data, right? You see the downloads, you see the views, you see the audience. As a brand, you're like, I want that. I want to target that. So I think between the sports books and the podcasting over the last few years, oh man, it's been incredible and great for us and great for talent, right? Just to have another extension of their brand and hone their skills on the interviewing side, like we're doing now. A lot of clients have these sort of podcasts, and I wish I could watch them all, man. I wish we had time to watch them all.
Well, do you work with them and help them set it up and get them, you know, everything they need to make sure to be successful with that?
Yeah, we'll assist. I mean, oftentimes we'll do the deal with a podcast network, you know. So whether it's The Ringer or whether it's, you know, I can't even think of another one right now, but that jumps out. But like Zach Lowe. Zach Lowe is a client with The Ringer, and Zach had his podcast, very successful podcast with ESPN. They decided to move on, and there was no shortage of interest in Zach Lowe. I mean, I could tell you, Wayne, honestly, 5 to 7 offers for Zach Lowe to take his podcast, you know, to them because of the following he has. Very, very big following, loyal following. So, but we took some time, man. The ESPN and him ended the relationship in September, but it took some time to really digest and think about what I want to do next. But The Ringer does all that, the setup and all that, the tech stuff. We just did the deal. But there are other clients who just want to get one going, and you know it's not hard today to just launch a podcast. Just make sure you got a good microphone, good lighting, good camera, and you know, and good guests. So that's the extent probably where we go at this point.